An explosion of violence in the midst of a peaceful protest pits rioters against police. Tear gas covers the center of Athens and rocks begin to fly at police lines, sending thousands of marchers away. There is much anger against the current coalition. This man holds a rope with which he wants to hang the government.
And here in the United States, we haven't quite experienced austerity on an official level the way Europe has. However, you look at politicians on both sides of the aisle, what they're saying. The right wing in this country, exemplified by Paul Ryan, has been talking about austerity, not using that word, but talking about austerity
Paul Ryan,
for years. He wants to slash Medicare, Medicaid, all these other government programs. Mitt Romney says the same thing. All the Republicans are in agreement on that.
Yeah, the right says that grandma can just go ahead and eat cat food.
Yeah,
they don't care.
They're ready to just gut the whole thing. Now, of course, people think, well, if the Democrats stay in power or get into power or whatever, then they won't let that happen.
They're sadly mistaken.
But unfortunately, they are sadly mistaken. There's recent comments from Hillary Clinton. This was in an article in the Huffington Post about how she believes that Americans are going to have to also, tighten their belts and accept cuts in government spending. Of course, Obama and his ilk.
You remember that big speech Obama did years back, a couple years back in Germany? He said that Americans are going to be required, as citizens of the world, to do more, not less.
Yeah,
that's an austerity quote,
So, of course, they're going to try and pass any austerity measures in America off as, they're going to blame the Republicans. They're going to say, well, I tried my best in Congress to defend the rights of the American people, but I'm afraid that...
that's the point. The social mechanism, the great lie of right and left, is to have us fighting one another about those little nitpicky
And he wants, he wants to pass the buck, as he always has, for, the failures of his administration to do anything about, the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and all that. He passes the blame on to the non-bipartisans acting in Congress, the partisans. At any rate, they're going to be just as enthusiastic about austerity, the Democrats, as the Republicans. Now, of course, they are waiting until the election is over. That's obvious, standard procedure. You focus on the election. Any president will always do that. They wait until they're firmly in office before they do anything, really. So we only have to wait till November 5th, and then we'll see where the cards really fall.
Mm-hmm. Now, just in the interest of time, I'd like to wrap up with this. If people think it can't happen here, I want them to read a little bit of history. I want you to go find your Howard Zinn in your local anarchist or radical bookstore. I want you to read People's History of the United States. I want you to check out the fact that we have gone through multiple, at least I think something about 6 or 7 depressions in American history. And back to my comment about how we've been conditioned generationally to feel as if though we're the greatest city in the, we're the great city on the hill, shining city. America's the greatest, most prosperous nation. Okay, that is instilled in our collective unconscious as a nation, a sense of entitlement. Now I want you to imagine every random jerk you've bumped into on a subway or maybe in a crosswalk, and they're just leaning on their horn, or they're just so pissed off that you inconvenience their time a little bit. I've had people so irate just because I took a little too long to cross the street, and that's a manifestation of this. Now, I want you to imagine those same random jerks and assholes when they can't afford to eat. Okay, think about what that sense of entitlement. I mean, to quote Joker, these people are going to eat each other.